Well, good afternoon and welcome back to a cloudy but a nice day, really, to be fair. Nice to be doing a little bit of work. I won't be doing too much. The back's still a little twingy, so I've promised myself that I'm just going to take it easy. So today we're just going to do a little bit of cleaning up at this bottom end. As I mentioned in the last video, we're now at the season where you're just on that cusp and it's ready to just start to go over the other side. And as I say, the composting area and this utility area comes pivotal to running a decent plot. As you can see, I've cleared these 3 beds here, topped them up with some of the black gold compost that I get. I took out the courgettes, so that bed needs prepping now. I need to just tidy up the rhubarb. It's the first season for the rhubarb, so I've not taken any, and I'm not going to take any this season, so I'm going to let that go over. I'll top that up with manure and leave that, and then hopefully next year we'll get some decent sticks of rhubarb. But today what I'm going to do is this bed that runs along this way with the basilling is going over. Now, a lot of it's flowering now. I have been taking pickings of it. I always grow too much, but a lot of the time that's there not just for me, but for the pollinators and also for the scent as you walk past it. So a lot of this is going to get composted. I've still got some in the small greenhouse where I companion planted up with the tomatoes, so that's really fresh. So I'm going to leave that there and just use that until the end of the season. So today's task is to clear this bed, and also I'm going to try and harvest all these tomatoes here in these 2 baskets, because then what I can do is the compost that's in those baskets can get added as a little bit of brown on top of all this when it goes in. I've also got a barrel of manure which I'm going to mix in with the compost. So that's the plan. So let's get cracking. Just trying to keep the back as straight as I can. Seems quite a few of you were interested in a video I'm thinking of doing with Norman, and I'm going to try and get that scheduled for the next few weeks. Nobody's heard the end of my sweet corn, by the way. Been running around with it like a trophy above my head, but I'm going to tell you a tale. I was made up. I went home, showed the wife, and we were having a barbecue. So I prepared the barbecue down at the bottom, in the bottom garden. While I was sat down there having a beer, and I got the barbecue going because I didn't want the barbecue to clash with the football. So what I did is got the barbecue done and then put it on a low light in the oven, so then at half time or full time, whichever way you say, I can't remember now, we could have the barbecue then. So got everything done. Got the barbecue, got the sweet corn, some butter in, pepper, all that sort of thing, in a foil, and put it on the barbecue. And I said to the wife, it'll be all right there. I'll just keep coming down and rolling, because the football had started by then. Anyway, I get enthralled in the football, totally forgets about the sweet corn. And you guessed it, come to dishing it up, they were like little pellets. They were rock hard, totally overcooked them. So there you go. Luckily enough, I've come back today and the dreaded rats have not appeared. So there's a couple more that I can take that are ready. So, but that's just my luck. Waited 2 years, and what happens? I go and overcook them. Right, what I'm going to do with this, as you remember, I put some green waste in the compost last week. I think this might be a little bit too much, so what I'm going to do is put the brown stuff in, the manure. I'll get that put in there, and then I'll put this on top, and I'll put the basil on top, and then once I've harvested all my tomatoes out of there, I'll then put the old compost on top of this. So let's crack on. As you can see, this soil has been sapped of all its energy, so that's why it's vital to get some of that lovely black gold on top. And what I'll also do in these beds is put a little bit of well rotted manure on here to sit over the winter. I'm hoping none of these, I'm probably going to get a load of tomato seeds in here from this bed, but I can pick them out as they come. Yeah, to sit over winter, and then hopefully it'll be fully revitalised for next season. Bend the knees, keep the back straight. Oh. Stick another one in there. Absolutely marvellous stuff. I'll get me spade onto this and just knock these lumps down. But absolutely lovely. Let's take a look, take a gander at that. There we go. Lovely crumbly. So just get my spade on it. When weather gets into that over winter, it'll break all these lumps down. But that's the bed nearly done now, and that's sort of the routine now from now on. As I harvest, when my back's better, those potatoes will be out, that soil will be all weeded and all prepared, ready for next season. There's a lot of work to be done on these beds, not just the soil, but the actual frames. In January, I'll have been on this site 10 years, and those scaffold boards have lasted 10 years. So they're ready to be taken up. Now, whether I'm going to put scaffold boards back down, I don't know. It just depends what I can get my hands on. But they look ready to go now. They're absolutely shot. I was thinking that if I could get hold of a load of the old council flags, you know, the big 3x2 ones that are like that, if I could get hold of a load of those, what I could do, what's that there? Oh, it's a blackbird, it's alright. What I can do is could cut those down the length and maybe edge it off, and they would be a permanent feature then I'd never have to change them again. But it just depends whether or not sometimes you can pick a boatload of them up for next to no. People just want you to get rid of them. So it just depends. But worst comes to worst, I'll put scaffold boards back down. I mean, if they're going to give me another 10 year, then I'm happy with that. God willing, I'll be around another 10 year. Right, I'm going to get these tomatoes out. Oh. Because these are bush tomatoes, I just take the whole plant out, and then you can get to all the tomatoes that you need. And as I say, I won't be composting these plants because I don't want seedlings popping up all over. This compost will be going on, and there's already little seedlings in it, but hopefully if we can get the compost warm enough, it'll kill the seedlings with the heat. So yeah, I just pick these up, pick the jewels off that are looking healthy. Any dodgy ones I put in this pot. This weekend I spent a bit of time in the morning making some sauces while the wife were at work. And we use those for curry bases and bolognese and that sort of thing. Right, how many is that? That's 2 down. I think I've got 4 in each basket, so I have another 6 to do. I won't bore you with it, I'll get it cracked off. So there we go. I think there were 8 plants in there. I've been harvesting these for quite some time now, but there's a nice full tray of cherry tomatoes. My wife sees this as I'm getting out of the van, she's going to lock the door. So she gets sick of processing them all the time. That's why I helped out over the weekend. And as you can see, this compost obviously isn't that bad. There will be 1 or 2 seedlings in it from the tomatoes, but hopefully, as I say, it'll break down in the compost. So now I've got those, what I want to do now is get the manure into the compost bay, and then the hardest bit for me is going to be manhandling these over there. So I'm thinking, get the manure in out of the barrow, and then I can lift this into the barrow and shovel it in when I need to. So as you can see, this is what we were left with on the last video. So all I need to do now is get this manure in. Right. It's like making little sandwiches. A little bit of filling, then your burger, a little bit more filling, then another burger, if you don't like me. Right. 1 barrow's normally suffice for this. I can feel the heat in it already, so it's still breaking down, so that should speed this process along. Nearly there. Right. That should do it. Just get that spread out evenly. Do wash my hands before my tea. Right, I'll just move this barrow. And we'll get next lot in. Cheers. I think it was Jenny that says she finds chopping up, oh, this smells absolutely beautiful. She finds chopping up the green waste quite therapeutic. And I get that. Great to get it chomped down and levelled out, looking all neat. Spread that a bit more now. Spread it out, lad. Making it hard for yourself. Looks like a nice, lovely green mattress, that, doesn't it? Right, I'm happy with that. Obviously not. Right, now I'll go do the hard bit. Some right spiders there. Bloody heck. Right. Go again. Oh. Look at that. All I have to do is, whoa, look at all them ants. It'll be surprising how much this sinks down by the weekend. We'll come back and have a check here. Right, I'll go get the other one. Go again. Oh, takes it back this time. There we go. It's really good because you're not wasting compost. It'll as I said before, this will be full to overflowing. Towards the end of the season, it's a good foot up in the air. Nice and warm. there we go. All I've got to do now is put the plastic back on. And slide the lid back on you're sat on. Right. Don't blow away. So now I've got the fire going and we can get rid of that barrel load of old potatoes, tomatoes, that sort of thing. And this area started to look a little bit more managed. As you can see now, this herb bed's still doing okay, and that'll be fine right through into the winter. I'll give that a tidy up. But these beds now are nice and tidy. I'll probably put a barrow full of that not so good wood chip down on here just to stop anything seeding into there. I'll get my proper stuff on later. But there you go. There's 4 beds ready to go. These all get some manure as well. I put a little bit of the remnants of the barrow into this one. And as I say, over there at the rhubarb, I'll tidy that plant up, but hopefully we'll be picking off that next year. Well folks, that brings us nicely to the end of the midweek update. I'd just like to say thank you very much to everybody for your kind messages with regards to me back. Thank you very much for your messages of congratulations to the sweet corn success, even though I did overcook them. And yeah, just thank you very much indeed for just watching, and you know, all your lovely comments. If you are watching and you've not subscribed, then hit that subscribe button. It really would help the channel. I do know now that there's a community page. Danny and Jane were talking about it on their live earlier this week. I sort of like you have all on answering all the messages, and I like to answer all the messages. If people have taken the time out to send me a message, I think it's only courteous that you return that. But sometimes it's a little bit difficult, and sometimes I'm a bit slow at doing it. But Danny were talking about this community page where people can interact and send messages and photographs and things like that. I've had a look on mine and it says community off. If there's anybody out there that knows how I can turn the community page on, then please drop me a message in the comments box below, because when it comes to technology, I'm a dinosaur. You know, Summer, my granddaughter, they all know the phones better than me. If I have a problem with phone, I give it to grandkids. So, and I think that's the same with quite a lot of folk. Do you know what I mean? And this AI business, I mean, come on, we're getting into dangerous territory there. I can see its benefits, but I can see some very naughty people having some real fun with that. Anyway, we'll get on to that. Thank you very much again. Everybody take care. I'm Mal, known as the Veg Plot Man. Hopefully see you at the weekend. Happy growing.